And I kept saying, is this a scam? No, ma'am, it's not a scam.
In this exclusive video obtained by the ABC7 I-Team, police stop an 82-year-old woman from sending $27,000 to a scammer through a Bitcoin ATM. Those machines that convert cash into cryptocurrency have become the favorite tool of scammers, many of them operating from overseas.
Jim Meduri is a father from San Jose, California, who never imagined his trust in technology would lead to a devastating financial loss. According to Meduri, he lost $15,000 to a sophisticated voice impersonation scam after being directed to deposit cash into a Bitcoin ATM. The scam began early one morning with a single phone call that would expose a disturbing evolution in digital fraud. Criminals using emotional manipulation combined with cryptocurrency technology to drain victims' bank accounts in minutes. Jim Meduri describes himself as a careful person, someone who maintains regular contact with his son and values family above all else. According to Meduri, he and his wife had built their savings through years of hard work, never expecting that emerging financial technology like Bitcoin ATMs would become the delivery mechanism for one of the fastest-growing fraud schemes in America. Meduri says he had heard of cryptocurrency but had never used it, never downloaded a crypto wallet app, and certainly never imagined feeding $100 bills into a machine that would instantly transfer his money to criminals operating potentially thousands of miles away. The couple's financial situation was stable, their relationship with their son was strong, and they had no reason to suspect that a morning phone call would shatter their sense of security and introduce them to the dark intersection of voice manipulation technology and cryptocurrency infrastructure. The scam began when Meduri received a phone call early one morning from someone claiming to be his son. According to Meduri, the voice on the other end was crying, emotional, and desperate. The caller claimed he had been arrested for a DUI accident involving a pregnant woman and needed help immediately. Meduri says the voice sounded remarkably similar to his son, noting that when someone is emotional and their voice cracks, it naturally changes the tone enough to make identification difficult. The caller's distress seemed genuine, the scenario was specific and frightening, and the request for help triggered every parental instinct Meduri possessed. Cybersecurity experts note that this technique represents an evolution in social engineering attacks, where scammers exploit emotional vulnerabilities to bypass rational decision-making processes. The emotional manipulation was the first layer of the digital trap. According to Meduri, the caller instructed him to contact a defense attorney whose information was provided during the call. When Meduri called the number, he reached someone claiming to be a criminal defense lawyer who confirmed the arrest details and explained that bail had been set at $15,000. The supposed attorney's office appeared professional over the phone, with staff members who knew specific details about the alleged incident and spoke with authority about court procedures and bail requirements. Then came the technological pivot that distinguishes modern scams from traditional fraud. The attorney's staff directed Meduri to pay the court through a Bitcoin ATM located at a nearby bakery. Digital forensics experts point out that this instruction represents a critical red flag, as legitimate court systems do not accept bail payments through cryptocurrency machines. However, for victims unfamiliar with both legal procedures and cryptocurrency technology, the unusual payment method can seem like just another aspect of an unfamiliar system. Meduri says he and his wife immediately went to the bakery location where the Bitcoin ATM was installed. These machines, which have proliferated across the United States in recent years, are designed to allow users to convert physical cash into cryptocurrency by depositing bills and receiving digital currency in a blockchain wallet. According to Meduri, the scammers remained on the phone with him throughout the process, providing step-by-step instructions on how to operate the machine. The couple fed $15,000 into the Bitcoin ATM $100 bill at a time, watching as their physical currency disappeared into the machine and was instantly converted into Bitcoin that transferred to a wallet address controlled by the scammers. Cybersecurity researchers explain that Bitcoin ATMs have become the preferred tool for scammers because transactions are immediate, irreversible, and can be accessed from anywhere in the world within seconds. Unlike wire transfers that might be flagged by banks or traced through traditional financial systems, cryptocurrency transactions move through blockchain networks that, while technically transparent, require specialized knowledge to track and rarely can be reversed once confirmed. The technology behind Bitcoin ATMs makes them particularly dangerous in fraud schemes. According to blockchain analysis firms, these machines connect directly to cryptocurrency networks, generating wallet addresses and executing transactions in real time. When Meduri deposited his cash, the machine converted it to Bitcoin and sent it to a wallet address provided by the scammers, who likely moved the funds within minutes through multiple wallets or cryptocurrency mixers designed to obscure the digital trail. Meduri says he believed he was following legitimate court instructions, trusting that the Bitcoin ATM was simply a modern payment method for bail. The machine itself provided no warnings about potential scams, no verification of the recipient's identity, and no cooling-off period that might have allowed Meduri to verify the situation before completing the transaction. After the final $100 bill disappeared into the machine and the transaction was complete, Meduri says the attorney and his staff suddenly went silent. Phone calls went unanswered, and the professional demeanor that had characterized every interaction vanished instantly. According to Meduri, a growing sense of dread prompted him to call his son's cell phone directly, something the scammers had discouraged by claiming the son's phone had been confiscated. When his son answered immediately, confused about why his father was calling, Meduri realized the devastating truth. There had been no arrest, no pregnant woman, no DUI accident, and no defense attorney. The emotional voice that had sounded so much like his son was either a skilled impersonator or possibly generated using voice cloning technology that cybersecurity experts warn is becoming increasingly accessible to criminals. Every element of the scheme had been fabricated, and $15,000 had vanished into the blockchain in less than an hour. The digital warning signs that Meduri missed are now clear to cybersecurity analysts reviewing the case. Legitimate court systems do not accept bail payments through cryptocurrency or direct families to Bitcoin. ATM's defense attorneys do not provide payment instructions that bypass traditional court payment systems. The urgency and emotional manipulation are classic social engineering tactics designed to prevent victims from thinking clearly or consulting with others who might recognize the scam. The use of Bitcoin ATMs specifically is a red flag, as these machines have been identified by the Federal Trade Commission and FBI as the primary tool in a rapidly growing category of fraud. Security researchers point out that the scammers demonstrated sophisticated knowledge of both human psychology and financial technology, creating a scenario that bypassed traditional banking safeguards and moved money through a system designed for speed rather than security verification. Meduri's next call was to the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Fraud Unit, where he connected with attorney Erin West, who works specifically on cryptocurrency fraud cases. According to West, the case represented both the challenge and the opportunity of cryptocurrency crime. West explains that cryptocurrency operates on a blockchain, which functions as a public ledger recording every transaction. While this transparency doesn't prevent crime, it does create a permanent record that investigators can analyze. West says that when Meduri reported the scam, her team was able to trace exactly where the $15,000 had been sent by examining the blockchain transaction records. The investigators identified the wallet address that received Meduri's Bitcoin and discovered that the funds had been sent to a cryptocurrency exchange, a platform where digital currency can be converted back into traditional money. According to West, her team immediately contacted the exchange, explained the situation, and requested that the account be frozen before the criminals could withdraw the funds. The exchange cooperated, freezing the account that same day. West's office then prepared and served a legal warrant to the exchange, which ultimately resulted in the recovery of Meduri's $15,000, a remarkably rare outcome in cryptocurrency fraud cases. West's success in this case highlights both the potential and limitations of cryptocurrency fraud investigation. According to cybersecurity experts, blockchain transparency means that transactions can be traced, but recovery requires speed, sophisticated technical knowledge, and cooperation from exchanges or wallet services where criminals attempt to convert stolen cryptocurrency back into usable currency. In most cases, scammers move funds too quickly, use decentralized exchanges that don't require identity verification, or employ cryptocurrency mixers that obscure the transaction trail, making recovery virtually impossible. Meduri was fortunate that investigators acted within hours and that the scammers had sent funds to a regulated exchange willing to cooperate with law enforcement. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center reports that cryptocurrency fraud losses exceeded $4.5 billion nationally in recent years, with Bitcoin ATM scams representing one of the fastest-growing categories. Cybersecurity researchers note that these scams often target older adults unfamiliar with cryptocurrency technology, but familiar enough with ATMs to feel comfortable using the machines. The scams exploit the gap between traditional financial literacy and understanding of blockchain technology, creating scenarios where victims believe they're following legitimate instructions while actually feeding cash directly to criminals operating from anywhere in the world. Cybersecurity experts recommend several protective measures against Bitcoin ATM scams. Before sending money through any cryptocurrency machine, individuals should verify the request through independent channels, contacting family members directly using known phone numbers rather than numbers provided by callers. Legitimate government agencies, courts, and businesses never require payment exclusively through cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. ATMs. Anyone receiving urgent requests for cryptocurrency payments should treat them as potential scams, regardless of how convincing the story sounds. Two-factor authentication, careful verification of caller identity, and healthy skepticism about unusual payment methods remain the best defenses against these evolving digital threats. The Meduri family hopes their experience will educate others about the sophisticated intersection of emotional manipulation and cryptocurrency technology that defines modern fraud, and that their rare, successful recovery will encourage other victims to report crimes immediately, giving investigators the narrow window needed to trace and freeze stolen funds before they disappear into the blockchain.